Hello my friends, welcome to yet more madness, and we start very excitingly today with Fitness Influencer Wars.
If you're trying to lose body fat, don't let them lie to you. This calorie counting was started by the food industry.
Pretty sure it started by the fitness industry. Then it evolved into if it fits your macros, flexible dieting. Bodybuilders such as yourself wanted to count their calories so they could get shredded, cover themselves in fake tan and parade around in a pair of Speedos to impress other narcissists.
James Smith, or is it John Doe? You're calling me out because now you're having to be answerable to your clients. Why Eddie, some old black bodybuilder, is saying on TikTok, telling them to eat proper food and they're feeling better. And you're telling them to eat 20% sugar.
That is right. Eddie Abbew and James Smith got into it recently because Eddie was all like, I don't think calorie counting is very good. Whereas James was like, well, no, I think calorie counting is very important. So, of course, given the world of YouTube and TikTok and social media, it all clashed. Now, I tend to lean towards Mr. Smith, as calorie counting is just a super easy way to allow you to structure a diet, and it does work. It's like anything. If you think you're losing too much weight, you can go back to the numbers, and you can do it the other way around. Otherwise, you are sort of guessing, and I can only presume that Eddie has done this in his past, because if you get into bodybuilding at any level, well, it's just something you go and do. As I'm sure a lot of you have too, the TikTok algorithm has jumped on Eddie's content recently, and he's everywhere, and good for him. And I have no doubt that his very direct approach has worked for some people, and that is good for those people. Whatever gets you to your fitness goals, that's what you should, I don't know, go and hug. I will say that I do think it's super tough to do what Eddie is asking you to do because you need willpower of steel. Now look, if your name is willpower and you do have this form of metal, then I'm very proud of you. But most human beings, because again, we do have brains and it is a struggle, try and do this when it comes to a brand new diet, and because you've done a 180, you throw your hands up in the air, you say, this is just too difficult. Before you know it, you've stuck a pizza up your ass. I mean, it is just such a hardship to go from eating whatever you want to not eating anything that you want. Stands to reason that eventually you're going to go, man, I just want some joy in my life. Where's the cheese? I just think going with baby steps always makes much more sense because you're not going to go totally crazy. And as we are talking about both of them, I am also a big fan of James Smith content because in a 2023 world, it is so nice to see someone who is just giving you straight up advice, not trying to sell you anything. I mean, the fact that he encourages his clients to get 20% of their diet from foods that they enjoy, well, again, when you know you've got a sort of treat just around the corner, it makes you go, well, hey, on this meal, I'm going to eat properly or on plan, whatever the hell you want to call it, because I know the good stuff is around the corner. So my main point about all of this is that do not forget there's many ways to lose fat or lose weight or put on muscle. Find the fitness influencer that works for you and just bring that into your life. And after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 72 weeks, you're like, man, this isn't working. You are allowed to change tact because all this stuff is trial and error to begin with. Because again, just to underline it, why on earth would you continue with something that you think sucks? I do enjoy the fact that we are getting fitness influencer battles though. What a world we live in. When we do have to do a 180 because this was just very sad. There's another fitness influencer and bodybuilder known as Justin Vicky passed away recently when attempting to do a 210 kilogram squat. Even though he did have a spotter, essentially the weight was too heavy for him. And when he got stuck at the bottom of the lift, the bar put way too much pressure on his neck and he passed away. This is absolutely the worst. Now, I do understand that some people do get quite hyperbolic with this kind of stuff because it is the exception rather than the rule. But as far as I'm concerned, if one person has died from doing this, it's worthwhile looking into a camera and shouting out, for the love of everything, would you please be careful in the gym? I mean, we all strut into that place thinking that we can throw around these heavy dumbbells and barbells, that they're not going to hurt us. But it's not some magic special safe place where you're free from injury. In fact, really, when you do go in there, your brain should be even more switched on because the percentages of you getting hurt have probably doubled. I certainly don't think Justin was ego lifting either, and this was just an accident. But if you are going to go for these kind of 1 rep maxes, just think about it beforehand, see how you feel, and if it's not the day, put it to one side, you can go and do anything else. It's just working out, people, and it's not worth it. I mean, you can still have a great workout without doing crazy lifts, and don't forget that it's all relative. Even if you're only benching 10 kilograms, if 10 kilograms is heavy for you, then just stick to it. If somebody comes in the gym and goes, oh, you're only doing 10 kilograms, you can ignore that person because I promise you, that guy or girl is an absolute asshole. So let's just make sure this never does happen again, or as best we can, Which actually brings me to my next story, Alex Eubank.
But basically, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, it's just anxiety. I had a mean panic attack, and I think it was amplified due to the fact that I had no food in me for 24 hours, which I've never done before. I have a pretty high metabolism, and as you guys know, like I tend to eat a lot. Like I always am eating out, or I'm eating like dessert stuff, and I eat quite a bit of food.
So I'm sure you're aware of Alex Eubank because he is a big deal, and at 23 years of old, he is super mega jacked. But recently, as you just saw in the video, he found himself in hospital when essentially doing intermittent fasting. Now, usually this just means you eat between a certain window, so maybe you start munching at 12 p.m. and stop at 8 p.m. But Alex decided to go for a 48-no-18 marathon, and he ended up in a bad way. Putting it down to the fact that he had a panic attack probably brought on to the fact that he hadn't had any food in 24 hours. I'm just going to repeat what I just said. We have got to stop doing this. Because I totally understand that you want to look great and there's nothing wrong with that, but we bring that word back in again. It's all about your health. I mean, we call this health and fitness. Why aren't we focusing on the first word? If you are going to put yourself in a detrimental position, well, you've got to change tact instantly. Alex even mentioned that during all this, his hands and feet went cold and his whole body felt numb, and he got so freaked out by it, he thought he was going to die. I don't think anybody should be putting themselves in that kind of a position. This next part doesn't pertain to Alex either, but it does tie into this whole trend, mostly on TikTok, where people now actively celebrate that they're smashing trenbolone as opposed to being secretive about it. I mean, neither of these approaches are great, but when it comes to the former, it kind of puts an impression and a message out there that it's cool to smash tren. I'm going to tell you right now, it is not cool to smash trend. It doesn't mean that you can't make your own decisions. You are a grown adult, at least you hope you are. But the PSA is, all this stuff is dangerous. If you are going to put any foreign chemicals into your body, of course there's going to be some kind of a reaction. Right, so that is my rant over. I just don't think we talk about this stuff enough. When we move back on to more positive news, and of course it's Arnie again, every damn video. This does come from one of his recent newsletters though, where he talked about distractive eating. Honestly, I never thought about this before, but when I read it, I was like, hot damn, he's right. Using TV dinners as an example, or when you go into the cinema and buy some food, Schwarzenegger also shared some studies that showed when you are distracted by something else, you will continually put food into your mouth, and your body doesn't actually realize what is going on, because of course you're focused on something else. And I tell you, I don't need any of these studies to prove it in my life. It's totally true. Because how many times have you done this in your own life and realized you've smashed a bag of crisps or chips for my American friends, or even your entire perfectly healthy dinner without a thought just because you were watching TV? And don't get me wrong, I totally get it. Watching a movie or a television show while eating is one of the greatest things in the world. And maybe that's how popcorn and films came together at last, because people realized you could sell massive bags of the things and we'd eat it. There's also information out there that your body actually fails to realize what's gone into its tum-tum when you are distracted, because yeah, you're not actually giving it a second's thought. And I suppose in many ways it means you're in the moment. That's most definitely a good thing. And also, let's be honest with this part too, sometimes overeating rules. I'm not saying you should do it, I'm not saying it's particularly healthy, but if you have a whole bag of cookies and a whole pizza and a whole tub of ice cream, sometimes during the event itself you're like, man, this is just the best. So I'm certainly not suggesting that all of a sudden you go super duper healthy, but if you are struggling to lose weight or you are struggling to hit your fitness goals, maybe just be a little bit more aware about this, because the two could totally tie in. And then of course you have to do a plank. Apparently. Before we go to a brand new study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine that did a trial with 16,000 people before deciding that wall squats and planks were very good at lowering blood pressure. Essentially pushing the benefits of static holds so you could totally make up your own exercise should you so wish. Results show that if you did hold your muscle in a tense state for 2 minutes, you apply a different stress to your body, and as soon as you release that, you get a massive rush of blood. And this rocks. Great. This is awesome news. Make sure you put them into your program if you do want to live a healthier lifestyle. But as always, when these report comes out, what else is in there? It just throws the likes of walking, running and cycling right under the bus. Why do we do it? Because even if planks and the like are better, you should be doing the rest as well. Because are we really pretending that going for a daily walk doesn't have benefits? Of course it does. And even if taking your ass and putting it against a wall before assuming a squat position is better for your blood pressure, you shouldn't write in the damn study, oh, by the way, if you've been doing the other thing, you shouldn't do them anymore. Of course you should be doing them. And all you are doing is opening up a world for someone to go, sweet, I'm now going to use this as an excuse to throw it out of the window. Make sure you walk, make sure you run, make sure you cycle. Exercising and staying fit is important. It's also simple maths at the end of the day. The more exercise you do, the more exercise you will be doing. And usually 9 times out of 10, that's going to make you healthier. Because it absolutely doesn't matter what you add, but don't use that as a reason to take away. That is simple gym math. I just don't understand why we have to do this every single time. Of course, still going for a walk is going to be good for your blood pressure, because as we know now, planks are better. And just to finish off this madness, now everyone is talking about how ripped Mark Zuckerberg is. Seen here after training with UFC stars Israel Adesanya and Alex Volkanovski in preparation for his apparent fight with Elon Musk. Yeah, Zooks looks like he's in great shape. And you can see his abs, you can see some separation between his muscles. And I suppose if you were living under a rock and I just went, yeah, he's just another UFC fighter, maybe you believe me. Given that he is trained in some sort of MMA discipline, it probably also means that he could kick all our asses. This ties into that wrestling fan argument I have to have all the time when people actually go, oh, Braun Strowman could destroy all of these guys. I'm like, man, no offense, you don't know what you're talking about. That's stupid, right? And one day, if these individuals totally believe this, well, they're going to get absolutely murked. Now, please do leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about any of these stories. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Make sure you click the video on the screen where we'll likely go on another fitness journey. And of course, you can go to grillermind.com/Simon. Use code Simon to get 10% off. These supplements I think rock. You can also go to patreon.com/Simon316 to support me there at Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Cameo if you'd like a personalized video message, just search for Simon Miller. And I have merchandise at Pro Wrestling Tees and Samson Athletics. But mainly I appreciate you stopping by today. Take care of yourself, make sure you have a great session. And even if you do decide not to go today, you know what? That's all right as well. You must listen to your body and you must listen to your brain. Just make sure you're happy, my friends. See you soon.